Hey everyone, it's DeAnna. I am here with another process video for the 3x4 card love series that I have going on my channel. And this layout, I'm actually using the hip kit for May and June. I did mix those kits together, so I'm not, especially at this point, I'm not 100% sure what items came with which kit, but so here I'm using a 3x4 card that came in the kit, and I'm cutting it up. I'm going to use it as some of the pattern paper to back against this cut file. And this was just one that I found on the Silhouette store, and I cut it out actually a while back to use when I went to a crop, and it never got used. So it's just been kind of hanging around, and I wanted to use it. So I'm using it on this layout. And so right now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place those pieces, and obviously I didn't make you sit through all of that, but there it is. And I make some mistakes in this layout, and it takes me a while to figure out what's wrong. Like, I felt like I needed to back it with something that was, had contrast against that white. Like, I felt like the white cut apart and then placing it on top of white cardstock was just, it was getting lost. And so I thought, well, I'll just go to my, tried and true black cardstock and try that out. And, it looks okay, but it's really not what I was looking for. And, just carry on with the layout because I don't really realize, that it's an issue yet. So I'm going to place that on top of the white paper, and I keep feeling like I need more color. I don't know what color. I was originally thinking about backing that white cardstock on some blue paper, but I decided to go ahead and go with this pink. And I ran out of tape, so I had to go replace that. And this, I believe this was a paper that was specific to the hip kit, like one of their exclusive papers. There was a lot of exclusive papers in this kit, and they were gorgeous. I know there's been a lot of people doing layouts with them. They were just really awesome kits, so very popular. So there I've got, I've got it on there, but the black is really, I don't like that black at all. And I will figure that out eventually. Throughout this series, I've been going through and doing scrapbooking a lot of older photos. And so, obviously with older photos, the color is not very good and the lighting is bad. So originally the plan was to scrap this photo of my grandma and my niece Ashley in the house that I grew up in. And I'm just trying to figure that out. So, okay, now I decided I was going to put some more paper behind that, and I'm showing you, look at all these strips I had to cut to get to that point, because I just keep thinking I need to add more and more paper to it, and I still haven't figured out yet that it's really just that black cardstock that's causing me problems. But I did cut out the middle of that wood grain paper, and I decided I was going to try to use that. And I started putting on here, and I was like, all I'm doing is just covering up everything that I just did. But that is a part of scrapbooking. So these right here, this is a whole bunch of those fun foam. I made cards a couple years ago for the holiday season, and I have a whole bunch of pieces that came out from when I made the window or the shaker piece. And so I've just been cutting those up and using those as pop dots. And I know a lot of people use the fun foam, but just so you know, that's why they were in a circle. It was actually something that went through my die cut machine a while ago. So, all right, so I figured out that I didn't like that black, and I just needed to pop it up so that there was some shadow, and that's really all it needed. It didn't need that dark black contrast. It just needed something, and by popping it up, it gives it that tiny bit of a shadow, and that's all it needed to separate it from the white cardstock in the back. And so I'm still fiddling with this photo here and trying to see if I can make this photo work. I kept thinking I wanted a little bit more paper on the right hand side to add like a card or a title or something there, but I'm trying that out, and I still don't like the fact that it's covering everything up. So I'm going to try, okay, fine. I'll try to cut that off and see if that works. And I try that, and nope, I still feel like it's just covering everything up. And I feel like the color of that photo, the papers are so bright and colorful, and then the photo is just so dingy. So I went through my stack of photos. This is another one that's an older photo, and this one works a lot better. It's really dark, but the colors that kind of stand out are like the pink. I think that's on Allie's dress, or is it on a stuffed animal? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. But there's just a couple of colors that stand out, so it doesn't, it's practically black and white photo. So then I'm going to take a whole bunch of these 3x4 cards that I pulled out either, through my stash. Most of them are from my stash. There are a couple that I end up using from the actual kit. So I think that pink one is from the kit, and then I used that orange one for backing some of those squares. I think those are the only two I used from the kit. The rest are from my stash. And I'm just going to pile them up to create sort of a layer for the photo to sit on. And it just, it helps back the photo. And notice too that I cut the photo down quite a bit, because I really didn't want, I knew that I was going to be covering up a lot of those squares, but I didn't want to cover it up completely, where I felt like a 4x6 photo with a mat was covering up so much of the beautiful paper back there. With this, it's just going to cover up a tiny bit, and then anything else that I put on the layout is still going to have little bits and pieces of the pattern paper showing in the back. And then I just showed here that I did do some stitching. I'm a little obsessed with stitching. I'm getting to that point where I feel like I almost can't do a layout without stitching, which is probably good for me. It's just something new. So, and I did cut down that wood grain paper a little bit more, just so it could give a tiny layer around all those 3x4 cards. And I am flipping this around a little bit. I really wanted all those blue or the navy paper to show. So that's how it ended up. And I'm going to use this foam phrase. Well, it's just a word, but it says happy. And it's just glitter foam stickers. And then it had some hearts with it, and so I added those. And then I'm going to take some of these wood veneers, and I've wanted to use that little speech bubble with the heart, and I do end up using it on this layout. I struggle with it a little bit, but it ends up working out fine. And then I'm using that smile wood veneer, and I think that one has the little white design on it too. Yeah, it does. It has little white polka dots. I love those wood veneer. And that's why I didn't like that speech bubble, or why I struggled with it. You can see a little bit of the photo from the back. It's going over the photo and then over the 3x4 card, and I don't know, it's distracting to me. But I do play with it a little bit later, and I couldn't fix it, so I just left it. I wasn't going to worry about it. And then for the journaling, because these are older photos, I don't have a ton of story behind them, so most of the time I'm just putting the names. So this is my niece Hannah and my niece Allie. And I'm not even 100% sure of the year, so I'm not even worried about that. Then I'm going to add this pink button. And that also came in the kit. That whole pack of buttons did. It's from Fancy Free. It's Pink Paisley Fancy Free. And then also in the kit we received these Simple Stories clear. They're black on clear sticker sheets. And there's some that work out really well on this layout, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. The one that is over by that gold heart says it says happiness documented. And then there's one on the other side, on the left-hand side of the photo, that's just a heart with an arrow. And then I'm going to use some of these Dear Lizzie phrase stickers. I love these phrase stickers. I'm surprised as many as I've used out of this pack. So usually I'm, I don't know. I guess I can use them, but I have so much stuff that I just kind of move on. But I keep going to these, so that's a good thing. So I use one that says good times, which is at the top. Another one that I just put there that says be happy. And then one underneath the smile wood veneer that says you are lovely. And here's where I'm fiddling with that speech bubble. It's like I wanted it a little bit lower, but then it looked even worse with half the photo showing and half the 3x4 card. So I decided to let it be. So now I'm just going to add some enamel dots, and I believe that's it for the layout. So this layout, I got to use quite a few cards on it. I think it was like a total of 6. So that's pretty awesome. All right, yep, I'm just adding these enamel dots, and then that should be the end of the layout. So I hope you're enjoying this series. I know I'm having fun digging into my stash and using different kits, so that's always good. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.